Okay, let's start with force. So in this picture, you can see um, at the cans, if you see, wow, that is so fast. So the cans are, you can see the shape of the cans are changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the help of this rock, or I think it is coconut. Okay, then there are some guys which are pulling each other. It is difficult to pull you. Can you go faster? So basically, in all these activities, here they in bamboo dance, you can see push and pull to the beat, and here whoever is trapped loses the game, and spinning tops. So to spin it fast, they apply force. So in all of these games that are shown here, what they are doing is basically they are applying force, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is force? If you see here, either they are pulling or pushing, right? So pull or a push that acts upon an object is called force. Pull is an action that moves an object near to us, right? When we pull something, like in this one, you can see this guy is pulling this, right? So this guy is coming towards this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he is pulling. So when we pull something, it object come near to us. On the other hand, push is when object go away from us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So hmm, basically, then let's talk about, let's see this example. So he's saying, what does the climber need to do to reach the peak? So basically, he is climbing a rock that involves, like, in each, he is going up. So basically, he is applying force, right? For going up, he is pulling the rope, right? And that's how, and the climber's hand pulls the rock and hold while his leg pushes the rock and hold to gradually climbing up, right? So
Yeah.
he is pulling rope and he is also pushing the rock, right? So this basically is applying force, right? In if we see in variety of daily activities, we do push and pull. So force is involved in our daily activities, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
this boy moving his scooter, so applying force, right? There is a baby stroller, she's moving it forward, so she's applying force, right? Pushing it basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these activities explains how force is involved in our daily activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you are like flying a kite, what force is involved when the boy is flying the kite? What do you think?
Um, mm,
Yeah, so basically the he is dragging it, right? When
uh,
we fly a kite, there is air resistance, which is also called drag. So the force of the air pushing against the kite, right?
mm-hmm.
Hmm. Then here, what force is involved during fishing?
Pulling.
Okay, yeah, he is pulling, like during fishing, when fish is caught on the line, like this
The
is the,
rod.
yeah. So he's pulling through the string, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Next one is, how does the boy move forward on his roller skates?
Pushing.
Yes, pushing what?
Um, himself.
Yeah, by pushing off the ground with one with foot, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. And what is the force applied by the paddlers to move their these kayaks?
Um, like pushing the water away with the paddle.
Exactly. Yeah, they are applying force on the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the force involved when he is like cutting these shrubs?
Um, pushing.
Yeah, basically it is muscular force. Like he is applying force through his muscles, right? Right? Now let's see the effect of force. Okay. So there are some activities. To state the definition of force, you need balloon, basin, and water for this. If you blow and tide a balloon and then fill the basin with water and you push the balloon into the water using your hands like this, so what do you think? What you are going to see? Yeah, here
Um, huh?
in this activity, what you would be observing? What do you think?
Yo.
Hmm. So this experiment is basically it will, as you push this balloon into the water, you can feel the water is pushing back with an upward force. If you do this, you will feel it, okay? There would be an upward force of water that you can feel, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Next is this spring. If you like hold the spring both at the end of the spring, or if you like either you compress it or you do like you stretch it, in both case you are applying force, right?
Yeah.
hmm. So we know about gravitational force, that is attraction. Like if you have any two objects and which are at some distance, there is always gravitational force between them, like sun and earth. Okay, there is a gravitational force between them which keep them in their position. Okay, now let's see the effect of force. Like what are the effects of force? So you will feel the effect of force when your hand is pushed by a friend, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
force cannot be seen but we can feel it, right? We can feel its
Yeah.
effect. Like if you see in this figure, what do you observe? A force is changing the shape of an object, right? Before it was like this. As you apply force on this bottle, its shape changed, and now it looks like this, right?
Yeah.
Again, in second picture, if you say a force can change the direction of an object, like if you hit it with your bat, if you hit ball or this if you hit it with your racket, the direction would change, right?
Yeah.
You can also stop moving object. Like if a ball is coming towards you and if you catch it, so moving ball stops when you catch it, right? So catching means basically you are applying force to catch it, right? So you can stop a moving object by applying force, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are some effects of force. There are some more. Let's see. A force can move a stationary object. Stationary means an object which is at rest. Like before, this car was not moving. As you apply a force on it, it start moving, right? Here, if you see, a
Mm-hmm.
force can change the speed of an object. Before, let's say, if you if you kick this ball fast, like with greater force, it would, its speed would like increase, right? So greater the force,
Mm-hmm.
greater would be speed, right? Like if you are kicking it. So these are some effects of force, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So in this like in this experiment, this is experiment to observe effect of force when a balloon is released. There is a balloon. Now, if you blow a balloon and hold the neck of the balloon using your fingers to avoid air being released, so using this you can see effect of force through this activity. Then you release the balloon and observe its movement. Okay, so if you release it, this is how it is going to look like. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you can see when you are applying force, it's first of all its shape has changed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, these were the effects of force we have seen. Stationary object can move, speed can change, you can stop moving object, right? You can increase speed or decrease speed. Like if you are applying brake, you can stop moving object. Applying brake is also a kind of force, right? So all these are effects of force, right? Now there are different types of force. Okay, like one of these force is frictional force. Okay, like in this activity if you see they are playing carom board. Okay, so this guy is flicking it and he says, oh no, it has stopped. Why does the carom striker stop moving? So basically they stop moving because we are pushing them by flicking the finger, right? But the carom striker they stop because of frictional force. And frictional force is a force here it is a force between carom striker and the carom board, the surface of carom board, right? So frictional force is generated when two surfaces are in contact. Like here, carom striker is in contact with carom board. Okay, so it is a contact force when two objects are in contact or two surfaces are in contact, then it is applied. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it is always its direction is always opposite to the movement. Okay, so it basically opposes the movement of object. Okay, like if this blue one is showing the direction of motion of carom striker, this pink direction is showing the frictional force direction. So it always opposes the movement of something. Okay, it opposes the movement of like any object. So a frictional force can cause a moving object to slow down and finally stop. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that was the reason that when you hit like a carom striker, when you flick it, it move, but then it slow down and then it stops finally, right? Because of frictional force. So it is a type of contact force. Like there are some forces which are applied when when the objects are in not contact, like gravitational force, right? Even objects are at some
Mm-hmm.
distance, gravitational force is there, so it is a type of non contact force. But force which is always like when two objects are in contact, then it is applied or then it exists, that is called contact force. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so can you out of these can you identify surface which are in contact? Here you can see this ball and this surface, this is in contact, right? Here this
Yeah.
stroller and the ground is in contact. Here the hand and this hanger is in contact. Here notebook and pen tip is in contact, right? So between
But it's not
them,
in contact.
yeah,
It's not in contact. The last one.
last one is not in contact. But when you are writing, at that time it is in contact, right? Tip of the pen.
But it's not right now.
It is not.
But it's not right now.
Oh, okay, okay. If the like, do you feel like they are not in contact?
Yes.
Okay, if they are not in contact, then there won't be any frictional force. So there are some factors that can affect frictional force, that can increase friction or decrease friction. So factors that affect frictional force, for example, here there is a cement floor and there is a grass. So in first case the surface is smooth, right? Floor is smooth. But in second case, because of grass, the floor is not smooth, right? So in first case, the trolley would be easier to push, right? It would be easier to push it than in second case, right? Why? When the floor is smooth, then the friction is less. Okay, so the movement become easier because friction oppose the movement, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why in case of A, the friction is less. In case of B, friction is more. That's why it is difficult to push it. Okay, yeah. So now let's see, how does the mass affect frictional force. So if there are two cupboard, one is smaller, other one is like a bigger, and it has more mass, so which one would be easier to push? Obviously smaller one, because smaller the mass, smaller the friction, and it is easier to push, because if greater the mass, greater the friction, which oppose the movement of object, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how the mass affect frictional force. Okay, then there are different effects of frictional force. Like if you see, there is a race going on, and so, oh no, it's going to rain. So in rain, like the surface would become even more smooth, right? So they can even slip, right? Because the friction decreases, right? If the surface is smooth and there is water, so the friction even decrease, right? Okay, so due to rain, all the racers, they have to stop and change their tires. Why? They have to put the tires which have more friction. Okay,
Hmm.
so that they don't slip. Are you getting me? Because more friction means they won't slip, right? Less friction means the movement is very easier, right? Like
Yeah.
usually in like when it's raining, usually scooter slips because there is less friction. Okay, are you getting it?
Yeah.
Good. Hmm. So now, like, how does the design of these tires overcome problem caused by frictional force? You would notice, like on tire, these designs are made. What do you think? Why these designs are made on the tire of any vehicle?
Um,
To increase the frictional force,
Speed.
not speed. It is to
Ah,
increase the frictional force. Like if the tires are very smooth, won't the vehicle would slip over and you won't be able to control it, right? Because there should be some friction so that it does not slip over slippery smooth surfaces. Are you getting me?
yes.
Yes. So why are you not responding when I'm asking? Hmm?
Ah,
Yeah. Please be focused, okay?
okay.
Yes. When you rub
50
your,
euros, please.
sorry?
50 euros, please.
Oh, okay. I will at the end of the class.
Yay.
Yeah, I will ask you a question. You have to answer that.
Hmm.
So, if you rub both of your hands together, you feel hot, right? Why?
Yeah,
This
because
is
you create friction.
exactly. And that means frictional force produce heat, right?
Yeah.
So there are some advantages of frictional force. Like frictional force between surface of the hand and the object, it allow us to hold and like hold object with grip, right? It make a grip. If we like, if between our foot and between our feet, and surface, if there is no friction, we won't be able to walk even, right? If like if our hand were plain, like you, if you notice there is a friction, they are not very smooth, like, right? So that we
Yeah.
can hold object. Mm. So it make a grip. Then like between the soles of the shoes and the floor, the soles of the shoes are made like that, that they which allow us to walk without slipping, which create a frictional force between surface of the floor and sole of the shoes. Then it also make frictional force make object to remain static. If there won't be any frictional force, if an object start moving, it will keep moving, right? Frictional force make objects stop, right? Okay. But there are situations where frictional force can cause problem in our daily life, like this guy is saying, help me, it's difficult to move this table. Why? Because it is very heavy, and we learn that if mass is more, the frictional force is more, and if frictional force is more, it will oppose object to, like, movement of object, right? So these are some disadvantages of frictional force, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. So yeah, so there are some situation given where the disadvantages of frictional force we can see, like if there is a slope, there is an area where it is like which is steep or slope is there, then you have to be quite careful, because if it is steep you can slip, right? Because of less friction force. Or why your cycle making noise? Because the gears are rusty. Like if the gears become rusty, if there is rust, it make noise, right? Because there is frictional force. That means frictional force produce unwanted noise. What else does it produce? When you rub your hands, it produce, yes, what else does this frictional force produce?
Um.
When you rub your hands, it produce,
Um.
why you feel hot when you are rubbing your hands?
Because you're making friction, because you're rubbing them together.
Yeah, so that means frictional force produce,
Heat.
exactly. And what else? It also produce unwanted
Unwanted.
noise.
Uh.
Yeah,
Noise.
yeah, that means you're not focusing, Samya. I can get it. You're not, because this is very easy explanation. Like because whenever you understand, you reply very fast. I noticed it. So like when we apply, I'm going to ask you everything after I'm done. So when we apply, like, like in any part of engine or something, when it become rusty, it make noise because of frictional force, right? Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
if brakes are not functioning, then they, because frictional force also causes surface to be worn. Like sometimes tires get worn out because of the friction, right?
Yep.
Like if you see in this slippers or shoes, the soles of these shoes are wear out, right? So there is less friction, these can be slippery, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. And frictional force produce noise, like when iron cutter machine, when they use it, because of friction, because these two surface, the machine and the iron, they are in contact, so they make noise, right? So these are some disadvantages, right? And it make object to stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Now let's talk about increasing and decreasing frictional force. Okay. So
Yeah.
there are several circumstances that require more frictional force, right? So we need to increase it, and sometimes, like to make things more efficient so that we can do them easily, we need to increase frictional force. Sometimes we need to decrease it according to the requirement. So how can we increase or decrease it? Like this guy is opening this jar, but it is too tight, so he's not able to open it. So this girl gives him the towel. So by using the, because his hands are very slippery, that's why the friction is less and he is not able to open it. But when he uses this towel, he is able to remove the lid easily, because the towel increases the frictional force, right, on the surface of the lid, as opposed to the palm of your hand, and that is slippery. So by increasing frictional force, he is able to open it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how did they increase the frictional force? Using the towel, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. So basically, uh, like we can increase, if we put anti-slip mats, we can increase frictional force between wet floor and the mat, right? Like we always keep them outside washroom, right? These
Mm-hmm.
mats to increase frictional. Like if you see the soles of our shoes, they are very rough, so that we can prevent, it can prevent us from slipping while walking or running. The mouse pad increase frictional force between computer mouse and the pad, right? So that we can control the movement easily. Like the bikers, they wear these gloves, it increase frictional force and make it easy for them to grip this handle, right? And weightlifters, they use a type of gloves which make them make their grip easy, right, so that it does not slip. So in all of these example, the frictional force is increasing. So basically, weightlifter, they use magnesium carbonate chalk powder to lift metal barbell. This chalk powder is used to increase frictional force and grip to prevent metal from slipping. Okay, okay,
Okay.
yeah. So some, like in all these above example, you have seen that we are increasing frictional force by doing something like using this mat, using by making it rough, right?
Yeah.
So in other circumstances, sometimes we need to reduce it. Okay, like let's see some example. We need to reduce frictional force. Like this girl is saying, Dad, look at this window. It is making or cracking sound, and it is more difficult to open this window when she is opening it. So the dad says that because it is rusty, the window, it has rust on it. Okay, now what dad did is, it is easy, we need to apply some grease. So he's applying some grease on surface of window so that it can open easily. Okay, when
Yeah.
he apply grease, it stop making sound and it open easily. That means using these lubricant, we can reduce frictional force, and that's how it can work properly, right? So in this case, we are
Yeah.
reducing it by using oil or grease, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. So sometimes in our daily activities we need to increase, sometimes we need to decrease, right?
Yep.
Hmm. So like in motor vehicles or in engine, sometimes lubricants is used to reduce frictional force, right? In machines, we like mechanics, they put some lubricants to stop, like when they stop working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, we have seen that we can sometimes we increase, like in carom board, we put some powder which is called boric acid powder, which make these strikers to move faster, right? By reducing
Mm-hmm.
frictional force. Similarly, wax is applied to the tracks of drawer so that it can easily be opened or closed. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So there are some problem solving. In situation A, she is saying this knife is blunt. No wonder it is difficult for you to cut the chicken, mom. What do you think? Like if this is blunt, why it is difficult for her to cut?
Because the knife isn't sharp.
Hmm. Yeah, it is not sharp. When it is sharp, it is easier. Like she,
To cut.
yeah, to apply force and all. Ouch, it's painful because there you can see there is a wet floor. So
Yeah.
there was less friction, and that's how he slipped easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in both of these, what did you notice? What are the effect of force? Frictional force?
Huh?
What are the effect of frictional force that you can identify in both situation?
Um, there is no frictional force like over in those two
The friction
because
force.
the knife is blunt. It doesn't have like friction. It's not sharp enough, and the water is slippery.
Okay. So frictional force is basically here in between the blunt knife and the chicken produce heat, which is why it is difficult to cut. And in B case, frictional between boy and floor, it is like wet floor, the frictional force is less, and that's why he fall off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So let's go ahead. Yeah. So let's summarize what we did. So basically, force is pull or push, right? Pulling means moving it away from us, or pushing means moving it closer, right? Effect of
Yeah.
force are we can change shape, change direction, change speed. It can stop a moving object. It can move a stationary object. Advantages are it produce heat. It slow down object or stop it. We can hold object because of frictional force. We can make sharpen tools, make an object stay static or at rest.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantages, it make noise, it makes movement difficult, it makes like some unwanted or it makes tires of vehicles to worn out. How can we increase frictional force? We can use a pattern sole surface, make surface rough, anti-slip mats using chalk powder. Factors that affect frictional force: types of surface, mass of object, ways to reduce. We can use lubricant, grease, uh, rollers, and ball bearings. You can use wax. We can use powder like boric acid powder, right? So these are some. Um, and this is what we have done, right? In force. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, now we have some questions. Let's start with this and let's try to answer them. So read question one by one and try to answer them, okay? So in question 1, read question 1.
Explain the effects of force on the objects in the following activities.
Yeah. In first activity it says Noor hits a stationary ball with a hockey stick.
What's a stationary ball?
Something that is not moving, that is at rest. Hmm? For in first it says basically applied force can move stationary objects, right? This is the
Yeah.
effect of force. In second, read second.
Kagan catches a ball thrown at him.
What type of effect is this?
Huh?
What type of effect of force is this? Answer me.
I don't get it. What do you mean, what type of force?
We learned effect of force, right? What were the effects of force that we learned? It can move objects that are not at rest. It can change direction. It can stop moving object. All these effect of force we learned, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what effect it is showing? The force applied by a stick makes a stationary ball. I mean, in second one, when the force is applied by Kugan's hands, it stop moving ball, bringing it to a rest, right? That
Mm-hmm.
means by applying force, we can stop moving ball, right? Next one.
Okay.
Okay, 1 minute. Next. C.
Rose is the shuttlecock moving towards her. So basically, she hit the force back.
That means
She hit
force
the
can
force
change the direction of motion of object.
direction.
Absolutely correct. Or speed also, right? Next.
Yeah.
In last one,
Um.
they are
Roger's
basically making
kneading
dough.
a huh?
Making a dough. When we make roti, we make dough, right? Using flour.
Mm-hmm.
So what type of effect that shows?
You make
We change the shape, right?
the shape.
Right? Force can change the shape of an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay, try number two. Yes, read question number two.
Um. Um. State the types of involved force force involved in activity shown. Putting on socks is applying the force
Yeah, is it
to like
push? Is it pull?
pulling
Hmm.
pulling the force.
Yeah, over the foot. Okay. Next.
Pushing pushing
Yeah, pushing the
the force.
paste out. Yeah. Okay. Then next.
Um, pushing and pulling the force.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, there is frictional force also, right?
Yeah,
When we cut something. Next.
playing the piano. Pushing the
Hmm. Press.
pushing the force.
Yeah, pressing the
Pressing.
keys. Hmm.
Yeah, the keys. Pumping, raising a hand pump. Pushing the force.
Yeah. Pushing the pump handle down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Try number three. Read it.
Okay. The table below shows the results of an investigation. Ball X and Ball Y were released on an inclined plane. The time taken by the two balls to reach the end of the track was recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, so read A.
Um, give two inferences on the
Sorry. On the time, like how much time they are taking to reach at the end of the track between the two balls.
Okay.
Yeah. So which one is faster? Which one is slower?
Um,
That's what it is asking.
ball X is faster than ball Y because it has more feet.
Yeah, because it has taken less time to reach. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. B. Why? Like this is asking you the reason.
Um,
What could be the reason? Because the same distance, same plane, why one take more time than other? What do you think? What could be the reason?
because the faster one has like more force.
Okay. Or it can be that the mass, there could be the mass difference, right?
Okay.
Right? Hmm. Because the mass of them like that ball with less mass will reach faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just give me 1 minute.